Alrighty, guys. Originally, I was not going to talk about this because it just didn't seem that interesting to me. But then, as you might be able to tell by the headline of this segment, things started to take a little bit of a turn. There are twists and turns everywhere in this story. Not really. I mean, it's sort of a simple thing, but I thought it was interesting, right? So we're one level removed from me going, I don't know if I wanted to make a segment about this too. I think there's enough here that's interesting to talk about. So let's talk about the fact that Mikey Madison was not only eyed for a Star Wars role, but was offered a Star Wars role in the new Shawn Levy Star Wars movie, and she turned it down. So what does this mean for Star Wars? What does this mean for the Shawn Levy Star Wars movie? Let's talk about what I think in just a second. But first, let's get to the actual story before we get into any of that. So Mikey Madison, for those of you who don't know, is probably one of the hottest names in Hollywood right now because she just won Best Actress for ANORA in one of the most acclaimed movies of the past Oscar season, ANORA. And I mean, she is probably one of the most popular names in the industry right now just because of her performance in that movie. Now, me personally, I thought she did a good job, but I would not have given her Best Actress if I were the one awarding these awards, but I'm not. So here we are. And I thought she did a good job. So would I have been excited to see her in any movie? Sure. I would have been very excited to see what she had to do next in a role. Specifically, a role that's a little bit different than ANORA, right? Because she's done stuff before ANORA. I believe she was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I believe her and Margaret Qualley were as well together. But Margaret Qualley, I think Qualley. But I'd like to see her in something that's a little bit different. I don't care what that different is from ANORA, just different. And I think that's not hard to do, obviously, because ANORA is a very particular role. So, that's just something that I would have wanted to see. And so Star Wars was not something that immediately came to mind. There have been a lot of rumors that she's being eyed for a role in the MCU, and we'll see where that comes into fruition, whether or not that happens. But Star Wars was not something that I was thinking about. So the other day, right, and this is when I was thinking, oh, well, I may monitor this, but I may not make a segment about this. Jeff Snyder, who, like we've been talking about, is sometimes right, sometimes wrong. In this case, he actually was proven quite right. Put out a statement or an article saying that Mikey Madison is being offered a role in the Shawn Levy Star Wars movie. And I was like, okay, gonna file that away, and we'll think about that later. And then, about a day later, Variety. Now, Variety is, like I said, one of the sources that is the most reputable in Hollywood. So if Variety says something as a scoop or a story, it's most likely going to be true. Variety says, I'm reading from this article directly, Mikey Madison passes on Shawn Levy's Star Wars movie with Ryan Gosling. Let's read a little bit from the article just so we can get some context here. So starting out the article, quote, Mikey Madison won't journey into a galaxy far, far away for her first project after picking up the Best Actress Oscar. Sources tell Variety that Madison was offered a role in the new and untitled Star Wars movie directed by Deadpool and Wolverine filmmaker Shawn Levy, but conversations have since ended with the ANORA star passing on the part. As previously reported, screenwriter Jonathan Tropper, who wrote This Is Where I Leave You and The Adam Project, I think The Adam Project was directed by Shawn Levy, has been writing the screenplay for the film, which will star Ryan Gosling. Levy, who will join the rarefied club of directors who have worked on both Canadian movie stars named Ryan. This is all just Variety talking. Ryan, because obviously Ryan Reynolds is one of the main collaborators with Shawn Levy. But anyways, the Variety article goes on to say the quote, the movie is said to be a standalone project that isn't connected with the Skywalker saga, which concluded in 2019 with The Rise of Skywalker. All other plot details are encased in carbonite, haha, funny, for the foreseeable future. So anyways, all of this to say that Mikey Madison was in conversations to join this Star Wars movie, but she turned it down. What does this mean for the film? Honestly, a whole lot of nothing. Does this mean that the part is so bad and the movie is so bad that Mikey Madison herself would look on this with such disdain? No, absolutely not. Does this mean that Mikey Madison probably has her sights on something else, probably a little less out of the range of genre film, like comic book movie films or Star Wars films? Probably. Very likely what's true. But I don't think that this really means that, the film is doomed and everything like that. I think this means that they really want good talent. Ryan Gosling is an Oscar-nominated actor. I don't think he's won yet. I might be wrong, but he has definitely been nominated for Oscars. And Mikey Madison is obviously, like I said, one of the most popular names in Hollywood right now. So I think that the fact that Shawn Levy and co. have their sights set on a really talented actress is a good thing because it shows that they're committed to getting good talent for the role. I don't see much in the fact that Mikey Madison turned it down just because she has her pick of whatever she wants to do next. And if it's not Star Wars, if she's just not interested in Star Wars, it's not Star Wars. And that's totally fine. So I'm going to monitor this, again, continue to monitor this with some curiosity. But I think that this is encouraging, actually, that they are going after such high talent. What do you guys think of the news that Mikey Madison was offered a role in the Shawn Levy Star Wars film but turned it down? Let me know in the comments down below.